Recently said that you act like a bad guy. You try to do too much in interviews. The crowd is going to be on my side because nobody likes my opponent. We will make him humble. Do you factor in what the crowd is going to be like on Saturday night? Do you not really pay any attention to that?
I couldn't care less. Ahead of my fight with Bilal Muhammad in Qatar, I walked out to booze. Go back and listen to the audio 30 seconds into the fight. Let's go, Garry, let's go. Dude, this sport is a pantomime. I couldn't care less what people think of me. What I care about is becoming the champion of the world and proving that I was right. That the dream I had as a 16-year-old kid growing up in Dublin, Ireland, I've fulfilled that dream. What anyone else thinks about me, it's irrelevant. My little boy is going to be front row. When I win that belt, I couldn't care what anyone else on this planet has to say about me or thinks about me. I want to see his smile. I want to see him and my wife. I want to give him the biggest cuddle I possibly can and say, Daddy did it. That's all that matters to me.
He seems to really like respect you and your greatness and everything that you've done, but he also says, you know, like he wants to beat you in your own world on the ground, and he's gonna bounce your head off the canvas and stop history from happening. What do you make of this?
Bro, I saw his couple interview. Honestly, he looks very bad in this interview. Better for him training more and do less interview, you know. It's look like somebody in the house control him and tell him what to say in the interview, you know. He looked very bad in the interview, honestly.
Yeah. Do you think when fight week comes at the press conference, things like that, is he going to try to get under your skin?
Man, he tried to, in the fight week, he always tried to be like bad.
Do you know what? I think this is going to be Islam's toughest fight that we've seen recently. I think that stylistically Ian Garry is a pretty bad matchup for him, to be honest. He's long, rangy, moves really well. You don't often see him getting taken down and held there. Super tall, super like elusive, elite striking, judges the distance really well. He's young, he's fresh, he's not had loads of damage or anything like that. He's not got a lot of miles on the clock. But then we're talking about Islam Makhachev, mate. In my opinion, pound for pound number one, or in the argument at the minute for that. Once he gets hold of you, you're done. He's got that left head kick. People are saying, there's reports across the board that he's the strongest person that people have ever fought. Apparently he's so physically strong, which is something that you can't see on TV.
What, just from a wrestling perspective?
Yeah, I think that's something that you can't really see. I mean, when you watch an opponent, right, you can always see the speed that they move, the techniques that they're using, the game plans and all that kind of stuff. What you can't see is how strong somebody is physically. I've seen multiple guys, Dustin Poirier, Justin Gaethje and people like that saying that, like, wait, has he even fought Justin Gaethje? Don't think he has he? He mustn't. No, must have been somebody else. Must have been somebody else, but I've seen multiple guys say how strong he is physically. And once he gets older guys, they don't seem to be able to escape. Ian Garry, though, very tough guy to get hold of, moves his feet really well, does everything good, and I think people overlook him. But mate, the guy can fight. The guy can definitely fight.
You all have Islam winning, or you have Garry?
Yeah, I have Islam.
Do you guys have by finish, or do you guys have by decision?
I feel like every time that all four of us take one guy, I should just go the opposite way, just to have to cover us.
Decision.
Nah, but I got Makhachev. I got Makhachev, man.
Yeah, I have to say the same.
I just feel like it's a competitive fight at first, but Makhachev is gonna dig deeper and break him.
I'm
gonna say sub. I'm gonna say sub.
Sub. That's what I think.
You think he's gonna sub him? Sub.
I think so.
Someone put Ian is my favorite fighter.
Why are you laughing at them?
That would be crazy if he subbed him. I'm not going to go that far and say that. I think he's going to.
He just sets things up different, you know.
I think he finishes him. Ground and pound or submissions. Something happens.
Maybe slows him down with all the wrestling, you know, and slips a choke in there somehow.
What is it about Dagestan that the guys they can wrestle? Now, look, I've seen somebody follow somebody like those wrestlers.
Yeah.
They really, I'm talking about those guys that go to the Olympics. Yeah. That's a whole different level of wrestling.
Yeah, them dudes.
How did they get so good?
So over there, they put them in wrestling. They put them in both styles. Then at like 5, 6 years old, They identify like where a kid's gonna be better, and that's all they do, all the way up through school. Khabib and Islam started doing Sambo when they were super young, together, right, with his dad. So their whole life they did combat Sambo. Combat Sambo was actually like gi tops, punching, grappling, like they were essentially doing MMA as like kids,
right,
and then just keep getting better. I think for my son, right, to have the mentality that I have or had, it's impossible. His life's too comfortable.
Yeah, okay.
His life's too comfortable. You and your brother and your children, they can't even make themselves think like you did growing up, where you grew up and how you grew up.
Right.
So it's like they all live like that. Because while Khabib, I want to see Khabib's son and then the next Islam's son. Then we could see how it does over there. Because for them, it was the way to live.
Right.
And change all of their lives.
Everybody's lives, yeah.
Just like us.
Yes.
The temperature is getting hotter by the hour as the clash between Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry approaches. And with the fight less than a week away, the controversy surrounding this fight has now moved to a new level. The two athletes are ready, determined, and are getting set for a bout that might very well end up being a defining moment in both their careers. However, even as the two athletes concentrate on the coming bout, the questions keep piling up. Will the size, speed, and striking power of Garry be enough to prevent the champion from imposing his suffocating grappling style? Let's break it down.
Exalted born, Brendan, forget Ian Garry's personality. Does movement, length, and takedown defense give Islam his toughest match at 170, or does Islam still dominate? Islam's so damn good. He's pound for pound for a reason, number one. But yeah, you know, all zestiness aside, it should be his toughest one by far. It should be his toughest fight.
Yeah. I mean, you gotta almost expect him to get taken down, and I think he has to expect that. And that's just, I think maybe he's a bit delusional, but that works for fighters because you just need to be delusional enough for long enough to get a W, and yeah, it works, right? It's not a sustainable business model, but it can work for a few fights.
Yeah.
But that's all you need, and he has that ability to go out there and say, "Oh, he's not going to take me down. He might get taken down," but he still believes in his head that that's not going to be enough for him to lose a fight, and like that's an incredible power to have that type of mentality, to go out there thinking that he can't be beat. And even if he gets taken down, not a problem. But you need that if you're going to fight a guy like Islam. I mean, you can't not have that. In my head, I always give fighters the benefit of the doubt. Like, of course he's going to find a way to get up. Of course he's going to have a better strategy. Of course he's going to have a better tactic. And then they go out and fight, and then they just do what everybody else does and fall apart. And then I go, I don't know why I even gave this guy the benefit of the doubt. And that's why I have a hard time picking fights, because I'm always thinking that one fighter is going to figure it out.
Yeah.
And as confident as I have, as much confidence as I have in Ian Garry to be able to figure it out, it could just easily be rinse and repeat for Islam.
Yeah.
Because
I mean, he controlled JDM from Larry Post.
Yeah.
You know, and I remember doing our breakdown for that fight, and we're talking about size and like JDM's boxing. The things you have to talk about, of course, the things that, you know, make sense to talk about on paper, and then you see it unfold and you go, oh, well.
Like in that one, I'm like, of course Craig Jones is going to have him prepared for this stuff. And it wasn't enough, right?
Yeah.
It just, you saw him trying to do it, but it wasn't enough.
Yeah.
So, and I have the same sentiment towards Ian. Of course he's going to find a way to figure out how to neutralize Islam. You know, whether it's just being really active and very squirmy. But I'll say this, Ian Garry has a body type that if he gets taken down, it's going to be hard to get up. Mm-hmm. Like if he gets put on his back, it's going to be hard to get up. He can't allow his hips to get too far underneath him, because if he can keep his legs out, he can make it hard for Islam to capture both legs to get a takedown. But if he gets his hips under underneath him and get sucked in?
The fight I've been waiting for, really, because all my Muslim friends are like, Islam! And I'm like, I don't know, pal, that's a big man. And Ian Machado Garry, I don't think will get tapped out to a darts in the first round. I mean, and that is Islam's big deal right there. You know, he's got such a strength. Islam has, you know, they always brag about it, whatever, but you can just see it when he gets in on a single or holds that head and arm choke or whatever the hell submission comes. You can just see like raw coils of Dagestani power coming out of that guy. So Ian Garry's job is to dance revolution all around the damn octagon, kicking them, you know, moving, punching them, and make it a little kickboxing bout, because while Islam has solid kickboxing, he's sort of, they have this Dagestani style that, I don't know, it looks like it comes from European kickboxing, and it's good and it works well with their wrestling, but Garry has a sort of wacky new age style, switching stance and kicking from long range, and the physicality of him being so tall and long can help him a lot. I think if he's improved his wrestling boatload and then he has the gas tank to go 5 rounds, I mean, that could be a very advantageous fight.
For Chael Sonnen, there is something more about Garry which can play a crucial role before going head-to-head against Makhachev. As far as Chael is concerned, it is not just that Garry is creating an identity or saying certain things because of some controversy to make himself more popular. In fact, Sonnen believes that there are certain truths which Garry talks about with complete conviction, and this is based on the strong belief system of Garry. Also, the fact that by beating Islam, Garry will become the #1 fighter in the world adds to its significance. But where Sonnen sees Garry's lack of care for criticism as one of the factors that make him unique, Brendan Schaub thinks entirely differently of the approach of the Irishman. Schaub believes there is a huge difference between shocking people just for fun and shocking people when you're trying to sell yourself as a top fighter in the world. According to him, this can be seen through the experience that he gained while podcasting, and he admits he shocked many people because of it. Garry is trying to persuade everybody that he can beat Makhachev, and Schaub believes that it doesn't really help him in any way. Schaub further emphasizes his claim by arguing that there is a big difference between joking and speaking seriously. Schaub claims that his statements are a result of jokes made between him and his friends, and everybody understood that these were jokes. On the other hand, Garry makes an attempt to be very serious in his speech, especially while talking about his skills and chances of winning against Makhachev. And while there is an ongoing debate about Garry's character, Tim Welch puts things into perspective by putting the emphasis on the fight. Speaking of the upcoming UFC 330 match, Welch makes sure to highlight just how important this particular contest may be, going as far as stating that this could very well be the last time we see Islam Makhachev in this high level of competition. While Islam is a heavy favorite for this particular match against Garry, who comes into the fight with a 17-1 record and 6'3" height advantage, Welch sees something worth noticing here. While Welch mentions that Garry has the potential to be a dangerous underdog, Joe Riggs extends the prediction further and chooses to support the Irishman. Riggs states that he likes Garry's odds, and that he believes that Garry can actually perform an upset on Islam Makhachev. The discussion shifts to Garry's personality and the persona he has built up outside of the octagon, as Riggs and the other panelists joke about his vegan diet, views, and new PETA endorsement deal. Regardless of the fact that much of what was discussed is obvious banter, Riggs leaves no room for confusion as he predicts victory for Garry. On the other hand, Arman Tsarukyan is convinced that the fight will have an absolutely opposite outcome. Arman believes that even though it may be a tricky situation for Islam Makhachev to confront, he will ultimately win the fight, probably by submission. Though Arman claims that he has to research Garry's past performances further before he evaluates his takedown skills, he does not have any doubts about how good Islam is at the moment. In Arman's opinion, it is a very complicated challenge to beat Islam nowadays, whereas Din Thomas believes the discussion around Garry often gets clouded by personal opinion. Thomas argues that fans frequently judge fighters based on whether they like their personality, allowing those feelings to overshadow what actually happens inside the octagon. In his view, Garry deserves credit for being an intelligent, effective fighter who consistently finds ways to win. Thomas also warns against relying too heavily on Garry's previous performances when predicting how he will approach Islam, because the matchup could force him to fight in an entirely different way. For Thomas, Garry's personality should not distract from the serious threat he presents as a fighter. Thomas takes his analysis of Garry's mindset even further, arguing that a fighter facing Islam, Makhachev almost needs an extraordinary level of self-belief. He expects Garry to be taken down at some point, but believes the Irishman's confidence could stop him from mentally folding when it happens. Thomas sees that almost stubborn belief as a powerful weapon because Garry can convince himself that even being taken down does not mean the fight is lost. Against someone as relentless as Islam, Thomas believes that kind of mindset is almost essential. If Garry is going to pull off the upset, he cannot afford to lose confidence the moment Islam starts imposing his game. For Luke Thomas, the biggest danger may be how easily fans could overlook Garry's chances against Makhachev. He acknowledges that Islam is the pound-for-pound #1 fighter and therefore difficult to pick against. However, Luke warns that dominant champions can sometimes stumble when they face challengers the public has already written off. Garry may not have the same resume or signature victories as Islam, but that does not mean he should be dismissed. In fact, the huge gap between how fans view the two fighters could make this matchup especially dangerous for the champion, because underestimating the challenger is exactly how unexpected upsets happen. Thomas sees Ian Garry as a much more dangerous challenge for Islam than the odds might suggest. While he still expects the champion to win, he believes Garry's defensive skills and hunger could create problems Islam has not faced before. Luke argues that rising contenders who are still hungry and relatively unproven can be especially dangerous for established champions because they bring unexpected challenges. In fact, he says an easy win for Islam would be far more impressive than he currently expects. For Luke, the appeal of this matchup is not just who wins, but the level of problem-solving Islam will need to overcome Garry's unique style. So, who do you think gets the job done when Islam Makhachev and Ian Machado Garry finally collide? Does Islam prove once again why he is considered one of the best in the world, or does Garry shock everyone and pull off the biggest win of his career? Drop your prediction in the comments, and don't forget to subscribe for more UFC breakdowns, predictions, and fight updates.